get up, get up, get up.
What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast, episode number 129, the official podcast of the New York Mets. And, deep breaths. Whew. After that rough Cubs series, after the episode that was a little bit different than normal, we come back to you with a normal one because the Mets completed a 4-game sweep of the last-place Pittsburgh Pirates. The Mets played pretty solid baseball from start to finish. A lot of really exciting things to talk about in this episode. So all the stuff that we said in the last one, forget it. Push it behind like we said.
Still acknowledge it.
It
was good. It was useful.
Yes. But
productive.
Yes, the info was productive. The info was useful. But the vibes, we got rid of them now, and we're back feeling positive here after a 4-game sweep. As you guys know, if you enjoy what you're seeing here or listening, whatever you're doing, make sure you follow us on all our social media, at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you're looking for the YouTube video, go to the New York Mets YouTube channel, subscribe over there. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, wherever you get your podcast, drop us a rating, a review, download, and subscribe. James, today, this is actually a first new location for us in a while. We are in the Piazza Club.
Lovely. Piazza Club. We got Golden Hour. We're staring at the Arthur Ashe Arena. Lovely, beautiful Queens in front of us. And it's a great day at Mets baseball.
We saw a bat flying around, actually,
we
before
did.
this.
It could come in anywhere. We don't know where it is,
Yeah.
so you might see the bat in here.
Listen, it wouldn't be the worst thing to happen if a bat came in and landed on one of our shoulders. I think that'd be pretty big for the podcast.
It'd be great content. Also, if there's any mosquitoes in here, the bat's going to get it.
For sure.
Supersonic.
Bats are good. They're good.
That's a really cool animal.
What is it? What are they animals or are they rodents? They're not birds.
Definitely still an animal.
You think so?
That's definitely not a bird either.
Yeah, no, it's not a bird. I know it's not a bird. I said it wasn't a bird.
You Google, what's a bat?
Yeah, what is a bat? What about a marsupial? I've heard that used before. What is a bat? It's a mammal. Okay,
it's a mammal.
All right. Well, hopefully the bat.
A mammal's probably marsupial can be a mammal.
I think so.
So it's in the same classification.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've had our zoology talk,
It might come again.
It might come again. We just wanted to prep you guys in case a bat does fly around us because it is here. But hey, let's talk about this Pirates series. It was really nice. It was, especially after what just happened, felt really good to take 4 straight against a last place team.
It was just nice, mostly easy wins. The Pirates, I don't remember them even having a lead. Do you?
I don't know. I don't have that stat. I'm not sure, but it really did feel like from start to finish, the Mets were in control of the series.
Yeah, Friday they tied it up, but they never took a lead. They cut it to 1. They never took a lead. Thursday's the only game I can't remember, but I think we got ahead early on them. Yeah, Thursday we got ahead early. We scored the run in the first inning.
Yep.
The Pirates may not have led for 1 inning of the series.
No, it's very possible. We probably should have had that stat, but it's 4-game series, as we say on this podcast all the time. They feel like,
years.
The Thursday night's game feels like forever ago.
We literally, how many NFL games have happened since then?
Like the entire week 2 has basically happened since the time that this episode is ready to drop. But game 1 started off cool because it was Roberto Clemente Night. Everybody in Major League Baseball wore the number 21 in honor of Roberto Clemente, a guy who they probably should retire his jersey just across baseball. I think it's one of those that's
been spoken about, right?
Definitely been spoken about, definitely worth it. What he did on and off the field is pretty incredible. So it's nice that Major League Baseball was showing the proper respect to Roberto Clemente, giving him a night. And the Mets showed up, specifically Francisco Lindor showing up with those sick cleats that he had.
Yeah, Roberto Clemente, customized cleats, just had the Puerto Rican colors on them too. Very, very cool. He also wore a Roberto Clemente glove, those Pittsburgh Pirates colors, which was very cool as well. He was mic'd up for an extraordinarily long amount of time on the Fox broadcast. It seemed like there was a point in that where it probably would have been more worth it for him not to be on the broadcast anymore, but it seemed like there was an inning going on. He was playing defense, but it's a great night from overall. Also hit a very big home run on the first pitch of an inning, just crushed one into the Coca-Cola corner. 109 miles an hour off the bat. Broke the Mets' single-season record for home runs by a shortstop. Great ball player.
I don't know if you caught this, but after the game in his press conference, they were asking him about breaking, how's it feel to have the most single-season home runs for the Mets? And he was like, I don't really care. I just want to win a World Series.
Yeah,
and I was like, I love to hear that because, one, he's a beast. We love him. We're big Francisco Lindor guys over here. We're not Lindorks, but it's great to see that he's like, okay, cool, but it doesn't matter if we don't win at all.
It's also, for him, it's a pretty inconsequential amount of home runs. It's my 24th home run. I've had multiple years of hitting more home runs than that. I don't know why this suddenly I did in different pants and shirt. Now it means more.
You look at Francisco Lindor's numbers on the year quietly, because, again, it's not very good, as a lot of people would like to tell you. 24 homers, 94 RBI, 16 stolen bases, 267 average, 342 on base, 786 OPS. And as we know, he's just one of the best shortstops in all of baseball.
Yeah, just literally is. I was going to see if you missed a RBI or run scored from today, but you did not.
No. I'm
lucky.
But listen, MLB.com, they are immediate with their stats. It's just
really?
not nearly as in depth as you get on Baseball Reference or Fangraphs or even Savant, but they do give you up to date ones. So that's why I went there for that. But yeah, Lindor played really well, and it seems like he kind of played the occasion too with how much this night means to like
100%.
Puerto Rican culture.
And it was just very cool that this happened for a team that's like so steeped in Puerto Rican culture, probably more so than any other team in the league. The amount of Puerto Rican players we have in this team, coaches, people in the front office, executives. It was very nice that this event happened here. There were so many baseball players, old-time baseball players in attendance for it.
Jimmy Rollins got booed.
Thank God. Carlos Delgado was here.
Yep.
Got a nice cheer.
Beltran was here too, I believe, right?
Yeah. Weird to have Beltran here, huh?
Kind of. I mean, yeah, especially after all that went down. But I think he was happy to be here.
I'm sure he was happy, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. And he got a very nice applause from the crowd, which was good.
That's good. He deserves an applause, 100%. I mean, the guy was
one of the best Mets of our lifetime.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, one of the best Mets center fielders specifically even, that's ever been in this franchise has been great. And like we said, Lindor had a big night, but there was other guys on this team, too, that played really well. Jeff McNeil, Jeff McKitts continues to be an absolute beast. 2 hits in Thursday night's game, 4 hard-hit baseballs. I mean, he really is. He keeps this line moving. He's so invaluable to this team, whether it's or valuable. He's so valuable to this team. Invaluable is not the right word. I caught myself there. I didn't let you get that one.
Got one, yeah.
He's so valuable to this team, whether it's offensively or defensively, making plays. I mean, the dude's all over the place.
You were right the first time. Invaluable also, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, extremely useful, indispensable.
Oh, so they're interchangeable, essentially.
I think this one's even more meaningful.
Oh, so I was right.
Yeah, you were right.
Look at me.
Trust the instinct.
Listen, it's been a while since I've read a book, so...
McNeil set the table for a very, very good series that he would eventually have. Nimmo also walked 3 times in Thursday night's game, setting the table for a good series he would have as well, getting on base. Pete had 2 hits. Daniel Vogelbach at 3 RBIs, also had a very big series for Vogel, which we'll talk about more later.
Oh, yeah.
But the big story, besides Lindor from Thursday night, was Carlos Carrasco, just completely shoving, having one of his most dominant starts of the entire second half, going 6 innings, striking out 11 Pirates hitters, only allowing 4 hits and 2 walks, 1 earned run, and just 4 hard-hit baseballs.
Pitched really well.
It just seemed like they really couldn't square him up and get anything on it at all, and a lot of that was because of his masterful changeup. It led the way. Second time in his last 3 starts that the changeup was his primary pitch. Only other time that happened this whole year before that was his first start of the year.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird. That was also a game where like he bunched a bunch of pitches together, so it was first by a little bit. But these last 2 of those last 3, it led the way like kind of by a lot. And that pitch had 14 whiffs on 28 swings.
That's disgusting.
The rest of his arsenal only had 1. But the 14 whiffs by Carrasco on that changeup are tied for the second most by a pitcher with a changeup in any game this year, only trailing Sandy Alcantara.
Which,
he's good.
He's in the Cy Young conversation.
You threw out that nice tweet from Mets'd about how good he's been in the second half.
He's been so good. He's been so dominant. Let me pull that up real quick because I feel like people can get lost sometimes in how valuable he has been to this team because, like, he sprinkled in a start once or twice that weren't necessarily the sharpest, but even with those in there.
He has 15 wins.
Yeah, he's been incredible. So
not that we're wins guys, but it's still meaningful.
Yeah, since July 1st, he's 7-2. Not that we're record guys either, but 7-2, and I think the Mets are 9-2 in his starts. So that's one you should care about.
Yes.
59 1/3 innings pitched, 2.12 ERA with a 25, almost 26% K rate, and a 6.5% walk rate. Like,
amazing.
That's really, really good for a guy that I think a lot of people
wrote off.
Yeah, wrote off at points. More so last year. I think if you watch the Mets this year, Carlos Carrasco is the man. He's a beast. But that's something that you've been banging that drum for a while, that Carrasco is going to be a huge part of that Francisco Lindor trade that often I feel like gets forgotten.
Yeah, I feel like even until like June, people were still like, I really don't feel that comfortable with Carrasco as like the 3 or 4 in this rotation. But he's become one of the most trustworthy, reliable, and consistent 3 or 4 starting pitchers literally in the entire league.
No, he's been absolutely great, and he kept the Mets going here, handed the ball right off to Lugo, who did a great job as well. Got 500th career strikeout, which it's a pretty good amount for a guy who's kind of been a reliever as well for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, also a very proud Puerto Rican doing it on Clemente Day. That was great.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Puerto Rican.
He's Puerto Rican?
Well, that was his.
He wore it on his back for Players Weekend.
That was Players Weekend.
That's
Puerto
funny.
Rican. We needed that win, though. We needed this win.
Also, just need an easy win. Just need the game where you score the run in the first inning. You score significantly more runs than the other team.
Yeah.
They get almost no chance for damage at all whatsoever. You just cruise to a victory. Don't have to think about it, whatever.
No, that's exactly what you should do. And it was also funny to mention from this game, too, O'Neal Cruz. I mean, we got to see O'Neal Cruz. I got to see him up close and personal, well, at a Mets game for the first time ever. I technically saw him at spring training once, but that's not the same. And he could not hold on to his bat. He threw his bat like into the stands twice in this game, which I guess it's a good sign. He's feeling loose, I guess. But I've never seen someone, especially now with the netting, the way that the netting is behind the dugout, hit the netting and then it goes over because it just kept going. Like the dude, his bat speed, his strength is pretty impressive.
A little bit scary. I also want to shout out a lot of our fans and listeners
yes,
for this
definitely.
game because we very much did change the luck. We gave you guys a call to action last episode, and we said to tweet at us what you were doing to change the luck, and we got an unbelievable amount of replies from this.
You guys delivered. Let's just read out some of the names that we see here. So
this is my favorite one. Kenny Koopman.
Oh, from the Netherlands.
As requested, drove to Belgium from the Netherlands. And then he sent us the picture of him actually driving with the Edwin Diaz jersey hung over his car. And I was like, all right, that's awesome.
No, Nick Kowal.
Yeah, went to Montreal.
Went to Montreal from, I believe, Vermont. A quick little drive for him. We've got Becky, who says, doing my part. She lit up a candle, had a little Mets shrine in the corner, which I absolutely love to see. There was just a bunch of people tweeting us, all different kind of things.
AJ Rufrano, he banged a gong, it seemed like, in his office. That was very cool.
That guy's from Atlanta. He's been DMing us. He needs stickers.
Yeah,
he wants to put them up all over Atlanta.
Stickers.
I know. We got to get new stickers.
We also don't have that many left.
I'm out. I'm completely out of stickers.
I have like 12 left.
Okay.
I gave one to a fan today. I missed your name, but you're the one who told Mark a couple weeks ago that you like me more than him, which was great.
Love bringing that up.
I was sprinting because, of course, like every single time I come on Sundays to the game, I underestimate how awful the traffic is coming from Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn's hellish to get here.
I just dipped out of the car, like basically still on like the highway. So like I just ran through, and I was like, because I had to get for the football. I wanted to see DeGrom's first pitch. Sprinting, he flagged me down, grabbed me. He was like, "Yo, I'm your guy, whatever." I was like, "Yeah, I got him the sticker."
I wanted to make sure we give a shout out to the baseball mystic as well, because this one's something.
I didn't even see this one.
Burning some cleansing sage, which we can see in the picture next to it, next to my crystal grid, to try to conjure up some good fortune for the Mets. And I've never seen a crystal grid before, but I've now seen one.
A crystal grid,
and my life's been changed.
This is the difference between Queens and Brooklyn, everybody.
Yeah, crystal grids aren't really existing in Astoria.
Ruan the Don said he wore his Mets socks to work.
I mean, there was the list goes on and on. Like we shouted out Nick, Kenny Koopman was a good one.
That's huge.
Also, I want to give a shout out to two people who got to us early in the morning too: Mind Ninja and Peter Marvin. Peter Marvin was a guy. Unfortunately, he's a Clemson fan, which we'll work on that. But he was talking about calming him down from the 07 parallel, which was nice because that's what we wanted to do with this episode. We wanted to make sure that people weren't getting crazy. We started to see some crazy stuff out there. Don't like it. Mind Ninja as well. He was saying that he listened to it in the morning. Love the vibes. Let's change the vibes. Do a good deed for someone today. A lot of people were saying that was something that they were consciously trying to do as well.
I'm happy we changed the tone. Happy you guys all listened. Like really enjoyed that kind of new style of episode, and happy this got the Mets on the right track because that game 1 win on Thursday was super easy, super chill, and exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yep. Which moves us on to game 2. Now game 2 again took a lead. Got close, but really, again, just kind of like this entire series, Mets just close it out. They get the win again.
Yeah, the tone was set in this game early when Eduardo Escobar was on first base with, I think there was no one out, maybe one out.
I don't remember the outs. That was like a year ago.
Yeah, not important. Mitch Keller on the mound. Mitch Keller kind of shut the Mets down a little bit last time we faced him last week, but not really with any whiffs, just gets a lot of ground balls.
He didn't strike anybody out, I don't think. Or he struck out like 2 guys.
Last week it was 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. I don't remember what it was on Friday, but he's a guy who I think, like with more years, will probably become a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, it depends.
When he hones himself in a little bit more, maybe the next organization.
Yeah, probably, because he doesn't really understand where the ball goes when he's throwing it.
Plenty of guys like that,
but the entire Pirates team, the Mets got hit by how many pitches a series? I mean, it was
like
out of
3
control.
or 4 at least. Tons of walks too. But Eduardo Escobar's on first base. Tomas Nido's at the plate. Tomas Nido, in the midst of enjoying his Mets'd up bump, just dominating since we dropped the podcast with him last week, hits a bloop single on a hit and run out to right field. As Eduardo Escobar, I don't even think he looked at Joey Cora for a moment.
Well, Joey Cora was waving him on. He was telling him to go. And then, like, at the absolute latest possible second when Eduardo Escobar was basically almost past him already, he's like, maybe stop. And then he was like, just go for it. And then he should have been dead to rights.
Definitely. If there was any kind of competent throw, he would have been dead to rights. But the ball came way up the line, got behind the catcher. Escobar slid in with the black jersey, came up. He looked up, he kind of like shrugged. Yeah. He was like, it worked.
Yeah, I'm safe.
And that was it. Mets 1-0 lead, never looked back. One of the funniest things about that play specifically, though,
got to talk about it,
was Key Brian Hayes, someone
Brian.
who has got a lot of promise. He's done a lot of good things already in his young career. But during this play, for some reason, he just seemed completely disengaged, took off his glove, and was just throwing sunflower seed in his mouth. And our guys went crazy on him. Keith, Ronnie, Howie, gave him hell.
Key Brian, son of former Major Leaguer Charlie Hayes, former Philly and Yankee. Yeah, Keith was not happy. And I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. I understand the optics of what that looks like and how that's a bad look and being upset about it. But in all honesty, I don't think it made any impact on that play whatsoever.
Of course it didn't, but it's the idea that you're a baseball player. There's a opponent, you're a base, and you're not ready with your glove on. Like imagine if Eduardo Escobar slams on the brakes middle of the baseline. He falls down.
Definitely.
And like the pitcher backing up home plate has a play on him at third base, and Brian Hayes is spitting a sunflower seed forward.
Yeah, I mean, if the queen had balls, she'd be king. Like
100%.
It's one of those things,
I mean,
you know.
we'll
Like,
know.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't think it should have been that big of a deal. I think it's more of a funny meme.
I can't believe you say something about the queen.
Oh yeah,
It's insensitivity.
Yeah. Oh man, sorry about that.
You have a lot of UK listeners.
Sorry, England. Sorry, Darren. We know Darren's out there.
That was crazy, but yeah, it was a weird play by Key Bryan, and it was very customary for our constituency to take offense to it. Not take offense, but just be like, "What are you doing, man?"
What?
There were a lot of moments this series where like this young Pirates team didn't seem the most involved,
seemed
engaged.
very disinterested. A little slow.
Just not super sharp. Which
not
is not
sharp.
Nice team, but
A bunch of drunken sailors out there is one way that I
You
think
have
you
been
could
waiting to
describe
say
it.
that
play
for
defense like they were on a boat in the sun all day.
A little too much rum.
There he is.
Oh, that was quick.
Bada bing.
All right, wait, let me ask you this one question, and this will be the last we talk about sunflower seeds. What's your favorite sunflower seed flavor?
I mean, it kind of depends, like, what my sunflower seed, like, how long am I expecting to spit? Because if I need to do, like, an all-day spit,
Yeah, you can't-
got to do plain or low sodium.
Of course,
100%.
I would never even think about doing low sodium. That's crazy, but original, I'll give you that.
But if you're, like, downing a bag, like, when I was in college and I used to do, like, long studying sessions or, like, really long writing sessions,
There's nothing
finals
like
week,
chewing on seeds.
I would just crush sunflower seeds. It was a little bit animal, I will say that. I would bring a mug with me.
Yeah.
I did it a few times in the library because that'd be a little crazy. My big thing was, like, go to an empty classroom. Shout out, I forgot the name of the hall in Ohio State.
You love
English
not
was.
knowing the names of people you're gonna.
No, this
shout
wasn't a
out.
building. This wasn't a person. It's a building.
Okay.
The English building. I forgot what it was called, but always empty rooms. I would literally bring in a big mug and I would just spit a whole bag of sunflower seeds. So I did like a study session.
You say it's animal, but like also you're keeping it clean.
In public though, spitting anything in public is animal.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, people like do dip and stuff. That's like way worse.
That's animal.
Yeah, that's animal. Or I think the real animal move when you're eating sunflower seeds is just eating the entire seed as well, just
That
chewing
is
up the entire
something.
thing, which is crazy.
No, people do that. People definitely do that.
Shout out to one of my best friends, Brad Norris. Brad Norris
Oh, yeah.
eats a lot of shells.
Gotta
Not
be.
bad for your like intestinal lining and stuff like
Certainly.
that.
Bad for your stomach,
Can't
definitely.
be good. It simply can't be good. So wait, what's the flavor though that you would choose if you just? Well, let's not say it's an all day
It's probably ranch.
ranch. Okay,
I kind of
John.
like the ranch ones.
I'm ranch or barbecue.
Barbecue's okay
I
too.
got a fun
Barbecue's
one
close
for you
me.
guys. I got a
Yeah.
fun one
What
for
about
you
you?
guys.
Oh, you can do Old Bay?
No, oh no, Old Bay. Stop. Like there's some fun flavors out there. Dill pickle is awful. Anyone that likes to dill pickle sunflower
I've
seeds,
never even seen that.
You're a fool. You're just lying to
I would
yourself.
try if I had someone to share it with.
I've tried them. They're nothing special, but there's a flavor out there, buffalo style ranch.
I've had that too.
which
It's pretty
is
good. It's good.
just
It's a good one.
phenomenal. You get a little bit of kick, get a little bit of ranch flavor in there as well. Those are my favorites if I'm just eating a little bit. Like you said, if it's an all day thing though, or even trying to put down a bag,
Plain.
got to keep it plain with
When
the
you're
original.
eating them, are you packing the lip in? Or are you
Yeah.
doing one by
No,
one?
no,
One by
no.
one. How much time do you have? What do you mean?
I'm
If it's an all day thing, it's an all day thing. Then I have that much time.
You're
lot of-
focusing on it.
a lot
though.
of high school baseball was played around here, you know. Gotta make sure you keep it that in there. You can't be throwing one seed in at a time. And I think that's what maybe the mistake Key Brian Hayes made was.
Spitting sunflower seeds was the best thing I ever did in a baseball field.
It's yes.
Absolutely. That was
thought-
unbelievable. Spitting sunflower seeds, making fancy baseball trades.
Yeah, you were
I was
active
elite.
on the trade wire.
I was a mover.
For
And
sure.
a shaker. Not on the field. A pitch runner a little bit too, but yeah.
Key Brian Hayes was definitely an original though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure, right?
In a Major League Baseball game, I can't imagine you're eating barbecue.
Tweet us your favorite sunflower seed flavor. Maybe if you guys are still sunflower seed spitters, send us a picture of your bag. Because I mean, again, when I was younger, I did it all the time, even until like literally I was like 23 years old.
And if you're a sunflower seed company, send us some. We'll
Yeah,
take
please.
them.
I'll
We'll eat them.
We'll spit on set. But big part of this game after the Escobar run, Daniel Vogelbach hit his first home run in about a month.
Which was nice.
Yes, it was the beginning of a very big series for him where it looked like he finally had his legs back under him, finally started showing some power. John, I know you have some stats for Vogelbach this series.
Yeah, massive series, and against his former team, made the Pirates walk the plank, if you would, for trading him.
come on. Someone's got to stop
Cut
this
his
guy.
mic. Cut
Someone's
his
got to
mic.
stop him.
Vogelbach reached in 10 of his 13 plate appearances in this series, drove in 6, a homer, a double, and against the Pirates, dating back to last week, 7 RBI. And I mentioned this to you guys, and we'll get to this a little bit later in the episode. But he's now tied for the most RBI against the team that a player previously played for this season. So a nice little stat there that he really had a little extra motivation, it seemed like, against the Pirates. A good time for Vogelbach to break out. And boy, did the Mets need it, that production from the DH spot.
Normally, you think of a guy getting traded to a new team, and it's like a good team to a bad one. They're like, I really want to show them what they're missing out on.
Yeah.
Dan Vogelbach's like, thank you so much. I want to show you how good I am now that I'm thriving on a team that's actually playing good baseball.
And he wasn't bad with them either. It was just like, yep, I'm happy to be in a pennant race.
He let off for that team, which is so funny to think about.
Guy gets on base.
The guy does get on base.
I was running that meme for the first 3 weeks. We got him. I got tons of engagement.
Daniel Vogelbach does get on base. And let's talk about Taijuan, too, because Taijuan, another solid start in the books for us.
Yeah, very solid start. Pitched into the 8th inning, which, I mean, questionable how it ended up going, but 7 1/3, 5 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 earned runs came on an O'Neill Cruz home run right before he left the game.
Yep.
First time that Taijuan Walker has gotten 7 innings and no walks in consecutive starts his entire career.
When you said no walks, it's so nice, especially for a guy like Taijuan who at times can like nibble a little bit. So the no walks there is fantastic.
Yeah, and O'Neill Cruz did hit that shot off him before he got yanked. Before time around the order, it's very hard to get that out anyway, and there wasn't really like an obvious bullpen option that you were like, I'm gonna get O'Neill Cruz out here. I was kind of when it happened, I was totally fine with it. It was just like it couldn't kill you. Like you're still winning after the at bat, so I wasn't like upset. But fourth time around the order was weird.
It was more like a no, like the lead that we had felt a lot better than when after the home run happened.
It was, again, I've said this before, it's that video game meme where you're sitting back in the chair.
Yep.
And it hits the home run, you got to lock back in.
100%. And then we had the five out save from Diaz.
You did. Wait, I want to talk about Taijuan Walker's curveball. Give me 45 seconds.
No, I'll give you a minute.
I'll take that. Taijuan's curveball is becoming a real weapon. It's now something he's been working on for the last month. He's making it an increasingly more prevalent part of his repertoire. 4th start in a row where he increased its usage. It was up to 16% usage on Friday night. Most since May 8th, which was one of his first starts of the year. I like how I wrote May 8th in the notes, and it went to a fraction immediately. You see that? It's kind of funny.
5/8.
Yeah, it got 4 whiffs on 5 swings. It's not like the best pitch ever in terms of movement. It's basically league average in terms of drop. Some horizontal break, but not much at all. But it's just very cool that he's showing a wrinkle as the season moves on. Show hitters a little something different. They probably haven't seen as much on video, and it's been effective.
Definitely. Now I can talk about Diaz 5 out save, right? He's so good. He's so good, Edwin Diaz. I mean, he scares us a little bit, in the 9th inning when that ball was hit by Cal Mitchell. That, you know what? This is called growth, though, because Edwin Diaz in the past has pointed to the sky, and we know whenever you point to the sky and a ball in the air, it never ends well. Edwin.
I mean, it depends on the baseball. Those are different baseballs.
That is true. I mean, a little PTSD there. But Edwin, he kept himself down, but I think he thought that ball was gone. Like, based on his reaction, I think he was like, oh, no. Like, Jeff McNeil.
Yeah. Jeff McNeil. I mean, also, did you think, here's this funny. Did you think Jeff McNeil had to jump to catch that ball?
Yeah.
It looked like there was like a foot between him and the wall, and then he just kind of like, bang.
I mean, it's kind of like an awkward, especially like in right field at Citi Field.
Yeah,
because
with the lip.
The way that the fence, I think it's called cyclone fencing or whatever, it's not as far out as when you have the padding. So even if you go to put your hand back, there's like just a little bit more room. And as well as like it's the cyclone fencing, so you can actually put your fingers like through it, which is
chain link fencing.
Yeah, but I think it's called cyclone fencing also as well.
Oh, that's true.
No, I've had this conversation with my dad. He let me know because I think Keith said it, and I was like, what is cyclone fencing? It's just called chain link, but it makes it a little bit more tough. So I could see, and I think that was also McNeil doesn't play a lot of right field either. So one of the few times, if maybe not even the first, that he'd been in right field in Citi Field.
Check that real quick.
I don't remember if he's played right field at all at Citi Field. Maybe for other games because I think did he make that catch in Detroit? Was that in right field?
Chicago right field. That was like one of the first weeks of the Nets.
Yes.
That was a really cool catch.
No, that was a sick catch. But I'm not sure if he's played any right field and safe field. Regardless, still a really good catch. He still definitely isn't as used to it as the other spots in this field. But just goes to show you again how valuable of a player Jeff McNeil is. He's so good.
He's 48 innings in right field this year.
Okay, we don't know how many at Citi.
No, but just 48 in right field. Yeah, John's got it.
Johnny Stats over there.
He always gets a smattering of spots in right field, but never that much.
Keep that utility gold glove wide open for Jeff McNeil. I don't know.
Is that something that's happening this year?
Yes, it's happening this year.
He has to win that.
I don't know what the exact requirements are, but yeah, I mean, Mets have 2 of the favorites, I would assume.
Not to watch other teams. You don't really know other teams' utility players either.
No, it's very fair.
You know and love your own utility players, and it's very hard to keep track of other teams' utility guys. I couldn't even name you. I mean, like Marwin Gonzalez, but he's not going to be.
No, he's not going to win it. Is TJ LeMahieu because he'll play third and first? I guess technically
playing multiple positions not that well.
Yeah.
I guess. Let me ask you guys this question: the term utility player.
Yeah.
If you refer to a player like that, is it an insult or is it almost a compliment? Given you're saying that you could do so many things and that's value.
I've had this conversation with a friend about utility players and how, because like that same conversation I just said, because like a lot of us when we talk about baseball from the national perspective, we either know stars, highlights or fantasy baseball.
Sure.
So like seeing a guy as utility player, but him actually getting renowned for kind of means you're valuable at both things, because you wouldn't be in the lineup as much if your bat was nothing.
Right.
And you also you wouldn't be able to force your way onto the field if you weren't like quote unquote expert in a particular position, or if there were clearly guys on your own team better than you at these positions. Like Zobrist is a guy who made this
I was about to
cool
bring that up.
by just being like a really good hitter and like good enough at a lot of different positions to play well.
Stole it out of my mouth. I was about to say, up until probably Ben Zobrist, I think it would have been a little insulting to be called a utility player.
Joe McEwing was a utility player.
sure.
He was a backup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I think just the I don't know, the concept of like playing time has changed over these last like 15 years since Zobrist kind of put his stamp. And now,
platoons.
yeah, teams are just trying to get as good of a lineup as they can every single day, rather than a guy like McEwing who's like on the bench and mixes in. Woodward was like that too.
Woodward, yeah.
And Guillorme probably does align more closely to that, just because
For sure.
his bat is like around league average when he's going well, a little bit above it this year. But McNeil is more of a Zobrist, where it's like you're just more of like a weapon we have.
But the other thing,
you can do what we need.
the other thing too, though, is McNeil plays great defense, like top defense at second base,
Yeah.
and in the outfield too. He's a phenomenal outfielder. I mean, I don't know what the exact OAA or whatever.
7 on the infield and +1 on the outfield.
That's really, really good for a guy who,
Yeah.
is technically a utility
Especially
guy.
because OAA is also a volume stat. You
Right.
only have outs above average, the more outs that you actually
Cumulative.
complete that are above average, cumulative like WAR.
That would be an interesting question to ask, like a Jeff McNeil or a Luis Guillorme. Like
Would you like more?
what position do you play?
Yeah.
Like what position do you play? And see what they say.
And it gets interesting. For a guy like McNeil, when you have an infielder/outfielder, that's the true utility player.
Yes,
A guy
definitely.
that can play all around the infield, he's a utility player, but like you
More
could also call him
common.
an infielder.
Yeah.
When a guy can do both, play the infield and the outfield, that's the real valuable utility player. And to me, that's not an insult at all. It should
No,
not
of
be
course
taken
not.
as
No,
one.
yeah. Also, I think you kind of make that utility player divide when you play different positions that are different. Like when a guy plays like shortstop, third, then second, like those are all different enough, like in terms of what you have to do and like how
Right.
you have to go about your business, like Guillorme, where I would also call you utility player. But I do agree with you. Once you do infield and outfield, I also as long as you're good at them, you could be like some of the first basemen who just go out there and it's
Lucas Duda. No offense to Lucas Duda.
Yeah.
Big Lucas Duda guy. Not an outfielder.
like who's the Rays have one, right? Like Lamont Wade. Lamont Wade is an outfielder who can play some first base. I think he's fine at it.
I think
Like,
is he an outfielder that plays first base, or is he a first baseman that?
I believe he was an outfielder originally.
I think
Okay.
so too.
When he was
Twins,
coming up.
right? Before,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
before he
okay,
went to the
okay.
Giants.
The Rays have
I don't
one.
think he plays either of them well.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like that's just the guy like filling a role, like
Yes.
not really a utility player. Like he's not excelling in these positions. Like
Chris Taylor's a utility player.
yeah, and one of the best ones in a long time. He's fantastic at it.
Got
Like,
paid. Also being a utility player.
Yes.
yeah, the Rays are bringing up a Curtis Mead right now, who's a fun prospect. Just I think messed up
He's
his
awesome.
shoulder, his elbow, or something. He's out for the year.
he's a
But
really good ball
He's
player.
going to be one of those utility players who's really just like a really good hitter and just plays different positions, but none of them well. Like what we have in Jeff McNeil and Luis Guillorme, it's two weapons for our bench, and really allows this roster configuration to handle a Vogelbach and a Ruff, guys who just like don't have that much defensive versatility or base running ability, who could just hit.
And now with the expanded roster too, it allows for a guy like Terrence Gore to come on, who
Yeah.
we saw make an impact in this series as well.
Yeah, a ton of different games. But again, just to wrap up this game, move on to Saturday. Diaz got his 30th save, fourth career 30th save season, the second most in Major League Baseball since 2017. An interesting caveat: top of this Pirates order was doing a lot of damage. Like they are good hitters. O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds.
Brian Reynolds is definitely really
Rodolfo
good.
Castro. Reynolds is a very good ball player. Rodolfo Castro has potential. O'Neal Cruz has crazy high end production.
Yeah, I spoke to you about Rodolfo during today's game on Sunday. I was like, watching more and more of
Banging
Rodolfo.
that
I'm
drum
like,
for
this
years.
dude's a ball player. Like I don't know what his ceiling is necessarily, but he's a major leaguer that's going to stick around for a while.
Yeah, he's a ceiling of a guy who could just be a ball player. But those three guys on Friday night hit 8 hard hit balls. The next 6 hitters in the Pirates order had 3 combined the entire game.
Damn.
You just get through them, keep moving on.
Yep, keep moving on. And the Mets win that one. Game 3. Game 3, we were talking about this before. With everything that's gone on and how these games have, like, low-key just been so straightforward. Like
And just a weekend.
It's been a weekend. There's been a lot. We're like, oh, yeah, we have to remember about Game 3 a little bit. And Eduardo Escobar, that's really what it was Eduardo Escobar hit the early home run. Bassett was good,
Yeah.
and the Mets win. Like,
Escobar's home run, the second inning, traveled 426 feet.
Smoked
it was a complete nuke. He just continues to swing the bat well. So amazing that he could just have this nice bump at the end of the year, get his like career stats, like his season stats that basically look like most other years of his career in
Yep.
terms of like not like the full cumulative stats, but like the rate stats. So that's great.
John, I believe you have stats on Eduardo versus the Pirates as well, right?
Yeah, Eduardo versus the Pirates has pretty much been Babe Ruth. I think Babe Ruth's career OPS is like 1164. Eduardo's career OPS against the Pirates, 1222.
That's pretty good.
Wait, I have a fun question.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think was a better baseball player?
Oh, boy.
Eduardo Escobar.
Eduardo Escobar or Babe Ruth?
Eduardo Escobar.
Eduardo Escobar.
Yeah. I also don't think Babe Ruth would appreciate a good Fogo de Chao meal.
No way.
Eduardo Escobar.
I don't know.
Babe Ruth was a man of culture.
Hot dog's not culture.
No, Babe Ruth actually, this is funny about Babe Ruth.
That
Babe
dude could
Ruth
eat.
was a major, like one of the first worldwide athletic superstars because of how popular baseball and the Yankees had become through the 20s and 30s. And this is when we were trying to spread the game specifically to Japan.
Okay.
And every single offseason for like 6 or 7 years in the middle of Babe Ruth's career, his prime, he would board the steamship and head to Japan for like a month tour.
Yeah.
Go play around the country, hit around the country, face their pitchers, like talk to people. He ushered in, he's still a legend there. He ushered in an entire generation of Japanese baseball that wound up becoming a cultural phenomenon.
So,
them.
so you're telling me he did a lot of omakase sushi
Sure.
while he was over there.
But
Sure.
it's probably helped popularize in this country.
I guess so. But anyway, Eduardo Escobar has been like Babe Ruth against the Pirates. And I looked because I was curious. Obviously, the numbers are staggering. So I took a look this morning to see where his OPS ranked amongst players against one particular team in MLB history. And his OPS out of like over 2,000 players with at least 75 plate appearances against one team was 19th best all time. And that put him with names like Bonds, McGuire, Angel,
crazy.
Ruth. It's insane what this guy does when the Pittsburgh Pirates are on the other side. It's a shame. Obviously, no more Pirates.
Yeah.
He could have had another home run last night, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
That
he
ball
had
was
one
smoked.
die right by the wall.
Yeah.
And another thing about Escobar that people are not talking about enough, 18 home runs, 9 of them have either tied the game or given the Mets the lead.
Wow.
Okay.
And I'm not necessarily sure that clutch is a thing. That's another topic for another day. But it seems like this guy has the penchant for the big home run. Come October, you heard it here first.
Oh.
Eduardo Escobar is going to be hitting big home runs for this Mets team. And all the Mets fans out there that had boo to say about him from April to, let's say, end of July will be eating those words.
Oh,
Book it.
100%. Eating some crow. I don't know what was crazier, those numbers or the fact that James tied his shoe while sitting at the table.
Sneaky shoe tie.
I just noticed it was untied. I can't focus when I know my shoe's untied.
How do you even know your shoe's untied?
I felt the lace underneath my shoe when I was like moving my foot around.
crazy.
It was sometimes you really got to be active and be aware of things going on here. But Eduardo Escobar, all those game tie and go ahead home runs. It's like the anti-judge.
He had to take one. We had to take
One.
one. We
He
haven't
is
taken
59
one in a
home runs
while.
today. I got to take a shot. Eduardo Escobar also through this hot stretch has gotten his season-long OPS plus to 105,
Which is where he
5%
lives.
better than league average. It's literally where Eduardo Escobar lives his entire career. I told you guys in the offseason. I told you guys in April and May. It's not going to be pretty, but Eduardo Escobar is going to be between 5% worse and 5% better than league average when the season's over. It's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's definitely been hot. The
Exactly
dude has
what we
been
paid him
swinging a
for.
good bat. And hey, also helped too that Chris Bassett was on the mound doing his thing yet again.
Awesome. Chris Bassett's been so good.
So
6
good.
innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Sinker totally led the way. Cutter and curveball right behind that with 5 whiffs each. Especially nasty curveball, I think, tonight. Or Saturday night. I can't believe I said tonight.
No, his curveball was nasty.
Wasn't even close to being tonight. But it's very good. And also the Pirates completely stacked his lineup with lefties. And he just used that cutter and curveball nonstop with them. He was throwing that cutter up and into the lefties all day. And they couldn't do anything with it. And it got 5 whiffs. It was really, really good. He also got to 163 strikeouts on the season, set a new career high.
Ooh.
Just freaking awesome.
There was also, watching this game on TV, there was 9 walks. The Mets walked 9 times in this game. Got hit by, 3 or 4 pitches as
it was
well?
4.
4 pitches. The broadcast was moaning and groaning a lot of, jeez, oh, God, man. Like
Yeah, Keith growing well.
Yeah, Keith's groan it's iconic. It's we've heard it so many times as Mets fans listening to him to doing the game. But yeah, this Pirates team doesn't throw a lot of strikes. We're hitting a lot of Mets batters. Buck was getting ornery, and I feel like this all kind of built in to Game 4, where we saw the hit by pitch finally come to fruition here, where Pete Alonso gets hit by a pitch in the first inning, and we got a benches clearing.
Yeah.
We got some benches
bullpen
clearing, which
cleared.
was nothing happened.
No, of
I mean,
course
nothing
not.
happened, just besides some shouting and hey, and
Yeah.
hold me back. But
McNeil did a good holdback of Alonso.
did a great job. And he also, I don't know if you saw this, after the inning when Pete came around, he didn't score, but he was like coming around third base. McNeil made sure he watched him because him and Oviedo crossed paths.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, don't you do anything funny now.
Oviedo also gave such a genuine, I didn't throw at you.
It's like,
it was pretty funny
I
to
just
read
don't
his
know.
lips.
I don't know where it's going.
He's like, I'm trying. I don't know what to do.
Pete's been a little feisty lately. I like the feisty Pete. I feel like
It's almost like an overcompensation for the lack of power.
I've been so desperate for for Buck to get ejected from a game.
I don't think he has. Right? No, Buck?
No, he hasn't gotten ejected yet.
I really did not want Pete to get ejected in the first inning. No. I was really concerned when that was going to happen at first.
I don't want Pete to get ejected, but
can't happen.
I like them showing a little bit of spark, a little bit of fire. Not that they needed it because they were taking these games pretty easily, but I like to see that enough's enough. You've hit us how many times? I think it also is complete and utter BS that when the Mets get hit 8 times in a series and didn't hit any Pirates batters, or maybe one up until this point, that they get warned as well from the umpires. I think that's absolute nonsense.
Yeah, we were also dealing with, we didn't even mention it on the last episode because so many other things were happening. A David Ross, actual and definitely intentional hit by pitch.
For sure.
In the 9th inning of the game on Wednesday night, which was a little bit weird to see and be a part of.
Nobody said anything. It was shocking.
Including us. We didn't say anything either.
We said it in the moment. In our text, we were that was on purpose. But the Mets get hit by so many pitches. How many are they're 2 or 3 back from the major league record in a season? I think it's 105 by the Reds last year.
Ken also got hit by 2 or 3 pitches alone this series.
Yeah, a lot of hit by pitches. The Pirates pitchers don't really know where the ball is going.
Don't forget Marte.
And that's the other thing too. I was I know it's not intentional, but at some point, these balls can hurt guys, and that's took Marte out of the lineup for this team. I think Pete said 2, or you did the, I don't know, he was pointing, he was gesturing.
I think he meant multiple times, you keep hitting us.
Yeah, exactly.
That.
And
so honestly, good that he made a stink, but don't fly too close to the sun.
Of course not.
We need Pete for as many at bats as he can possible.
Without a doubt. And
especially because I don't think we have this available, but SNY flashed the stats.
Oh yeah, this is unbelievable.
Pete's statistics in wins and Pete's statistics in losses. John, I don't know how quickly either of you guys can get this.
I can get that right now.
I'm going to beat John to it.
But come
Why
on.
not?
I'm going to beat John.
Race.
I'm going to beat John.
We got.
Where is it?
I got it right here.
No!
Pete wins.
He beat
320 average, 398 OBP, 613 slug, 28 home runs. In losses, 168 average, 244 on base percentage, 298 slug, only 7 home runs. There you go.
The thing that really was stark, I believe, was the amount of RBIs. He's driven in 100 runs and wins.
Only
14 in losses. 14 in 54 games. That's crazy.
This also comes to the discussion we've had time and time again this entire season about the roster and lineup construction of this team. He's really the only clear and defined and obvious consistent power hitter this Mets team has in the lineup on a day in, day out basis. I made that literally because he's been in the lineup every single game this year.
Pretty much, yeah.
Alonso, Francisco Lindor, so shout out to those guys for the grind. But when he's the only guy who is really going to and use a football term, pop the top off of defense.
Yeah.
You're going to win more frequently when he's getting those big bulk plays and driving in the runs. So it's crazy to see in front of you and see how stark it actually is, but it does make sense when you think about it.
Yeah, well, he's a big piece of this team. He is the middle of this order. He is the cleanup bat now. He hit third, he's hit fourth, he's hit second, he does whatever. Him and Francisco Lindor, I think, really more so, together. I don't know what Lindor's wins and loss numbers look like, but it really was so crazy to see that, in losses. He's just, it makes sense, but it's so weird. It's for a guy who's driven in 114 RBIs on the season, only 14 in losses in 54 games.
Also, there's not that many losses on the season.
That's the other thing, too. I mean, I know some people,
we lost 55 games, so.
This team's good. This team is a really good baseball team. I don't know how many times we have to say it. I mean... Oh, well, all right. Degrom, though. Degrom on the mound. Weirdly enough, this was the second start against Degrom in which the first inning was a little bit tough against the Pirates of all teams.
A little bit tough doesn't really describe it because O'Neill Cruz roped a double and then he struck out the next 3 batters.
Yeah, well, I think he got to 25.
There's a person on second base.
Yeah, I think this is the exact same thing that we said, too, in the last episode.
The last one was last Wednesday. It was just 2 bloops.
Yeah, but,
tough, relatively tough.
A few more pitches than we're normally seeing. We saw 25 pitches in the first, which that's usually 3 for Degrom.
After that leadoff double by O'Neill Cruz, Jacob Degrom retired the next 15 Pirates he faced.
Yeah, John, you have something?
Shout out John for throwing that one on the board, not jinxing anything.
Yeah, you have something to say about that, John?
Yeah, it was a good stat at the time, and I think that what I put on the board had no bearing on the 6th inning whatsoever. That's what I think.
It's funny because
every out Jacob Degrom got in this game was consecutively.
Yes,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. It's funny to hear you think that there is no superstition or anything because I don't know if the people at home who are watching have noticed you're wearing the same clothes as the last episode.
That's right. I mean, I promised on the last episode if the Mets win or if there are wins in this shirt, I will be back on the next episode in this shirt. And I also have what is pretty much the hot dog bun, except this is a veggie burger.
Ooh.
The same kind of bread.
Veggie burger.
Veggie
burger. Shout out Mendez for hooking up the veggie burger.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's wins. I also haven't shaved, which I wanted to do, and then I mean, I'll never have a beard quite as nice as James's. You use oil in that thing?
No. Oil, come on.
Yeah, beard oil. That's
all
a thing.
natural.
Yeah, no. If someone uses that, they shouldn't be growing a beard.
Why? Isn't that like
no, sure.
if
I'm
you
sure
have a
people
nice
do use
beard,
it.
you use
It makes it feel straight, but like this is all the natural oils here. You
Let
know?
me ask you this: to straighten
What
it,
the beard got? What?
to straighten it, because you have a nice. I mean, it's well trimmed.
Do you comb?
Do you
No.
or do you use a comb? I saw a TikTok where like you put a comb
Giant TikToks.
and then you do the shaving underneath it. And that's how you get the perfect line.
No, I actually don't. I literally just like put my neck up in the mirror and just go straight down.
And that's it.
Yeah.
When is the last time you were clean shaven?
Oh, I was a freshman in college. I was 18 years old.
What year? This is like 2015. Like,
It was 2014. It was October
when was
2014.
the last time you were clean shaven?
Because
You haven't seen your chin in
No, what happened was
8 years?
my dorm had the No Shave November contest, and I was like, I'm gonna crush this. And I won it running away as an 18-year-old who
sure.
could actually grow a full beard. But the day before that, I went clean shaven. I used to like keep it like kind of in between, just like shave it once a week. But I used to never like shaving it clean because I have sensitive skin. I always got the razor bumps, and I also, as like a very hairy person, you guys have seen. Shout out to one dude that called me the Wolfman like a month ago.
Yeah.
I never knew what to do with sideburns. Like it was always
yeah.
like too thick, too far down, too high up, and I was like, "There's no reason this to happen." I just realized after that, like the natural state of my face is supposed to have this beard on it, so I just stopped shaving it.
You know what would be cool?
Shave
would
it.
be cool?
John has been
Oh.
asking me to shave this for the whole time the podcast.
Well,
has been going
yeah.
on.
I mean, eventually, like, if it's Estimate next year or something else that we do fun, your punishment is going to be to shave. But what
Oh,
would be cool
100%.
I don't know.
is, hear me out, James goes with a playoff goatee.
do that.
that
Yeah.
would be give him the Piazza goatee.
I have a life to live outside this
my
podcast
gosh.
as well.
Give him
Dude, it
the
would be
Piazza
great.
goatee.
Oh man.
You'd do it for a Mets World Series, though, right? You'd walk around
You
this
would.
earth
Oh,
with
if
a
that's what
goatee.
a World Series, I would do anything.
I mean, you heard it here first, guys.
It's on the record. Let the record state or show that James says he'll do anything for a World Series.
Would you guys not do anything for Mets to win a World Series?
I have my limits.
Well, yeah, within reason. When like, I mean, I was gonna say something that actually I might take it back. I was gonna say wouldn't chop off a limb, but it kind of does depend on the limb.
Like a pinky finger is.
Yeah, pinky
it's-
finger. I would kill a pinky
or
finger.
pinky toe. Really is probably.
Pinky toe is very valuable for balance.
Is it?
Apparently, allegedly.
Oh, yeah, you can't walk without a pinky toe.
No
yeah.
way.
Yeah, it's very valuable for
Yeah,
balance.
you can't walk without it.
It screws up your whole equilibrium.
You would have fooled me.
We could take a Mark's
No,
pinky
it's
toe.
true. Learned that in like 6th grade science class.
Yeah,
That's
but yeah, I don't know.
unbelievable.
There could be maybe something in the future, but I just don't think I would ever do it clean. Like maybe I would do like a razor to a one, like an electric.
You could do something fun, though, is what I'm getting at.
If I ever did
James
shave
has
it,
to
I would
get-
do a lot of fun stuff. Like the first thing I would do, I would shave straight down here and just do like
Wait, no,
the
I
chops.
have a better idea.
Chops would be good.
Yeah.
Good
If,
too.
if the Mets win a World Series, you have to get like Mets like shaved
The
into
script?
yeah the Mets
For the
script
parade.
for hair for the parade. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? If whoever cuts the hair of the guys in the team, whoever lines them up,
Yeah.
Mets do win the World Series, and when there's a parade, I will get the Mets script in my beard.
Yeah.
It's right up here, right up the right side of my face.
That's a good one. I like that.
100%.
I think that's a fun way because
Yeah.
it'll grow back. It'll grow back.
Oh, that'd be through 2 days.
yeah,
What, you
you're,
didn't know this?
you're like Louis Ski
yeah, I'd be gone. I just wouldn't leave my
my
house
God,
the day
it's
after. I wouldn't leave my house
crazy
anyway the day after, so it's okay.
It'd be a lot of sleeping.
Yeah, people forget Guillaume shaved his beard.
It was back in like 48 hours. Full force.
Impressive.
Again, that's how it was like for me too. So I'd be like, I hate clean shaving it because then I got to do this. I got to deal with all this. It's too much to maintain. Now I could just like let it ride. I trim it once a week and we're cool.
Trim it. I was going to say, does it get a lot longer? Like, if you let it go,
No, it
where would we
just
be?
becomes like a bubble. It's like
A bubble.
a thick ball of hair.
That's how the hair.
It
on my
doesn't
head
really ever
works.
lengthen. I guess if it did, if I would just like would shave these and keep this, it'd be the Keuchel eventually, which no one wants to be like
No,
Dallas
no,
Keuchel.
no.
Well,
What?
I mean,
Dallas Keuchel's got it. He's got a pretty good, sweet deal.
yeah.
Allegedly,
Dallas
I
Keuchel
guess.
just recently married Kelly Nash. Very nice girl.
Just won a lot of or made a lot of money as well.
He has made a lot
true.
of money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. Nasty
I just,
sinker.
people don't like speak kindly of him though.
No, definitely not.
That's what I was going at with that. But let's talk about baseball a little bit.
Remember Game 4? Where it's today.
Degrom struck out 13 Pirates. He didn't walk any. He got three earned runs allowed, but just on that one O'Neal Cruz swing. There was something that did happen in this game, so if some Mets fans know this, it might have been cause for concern. We don't really know, but it was just Degrom did have a stretch in this game where the velocity lulled.
Yeah.
He threw 9 fastballs less than 96 miles an hour between the 3rd and 5th inning, which is hilarious. That like 96 is the line we're using, because that's
Yeah.
still an above average velocity fastball.
That was like where he topped out when he first came up.
And it's literally, that is where you're at when you're above league average velocity, sitting above 95.5. But that's all for all pitchers. So Star, there's probably even a tick lower than that. But he threw his last 8 fastballs, 97.4 miles an hour or faster. So I'm thinking there is a chance that maybe this was conscious. That maybe Jacob
100%.
DeGrom knew how little effort he had to expend to still have a fastball that would have better than league average specs, basically. Kind of knew exactly where to sit and then go back to it. Because we've seen Max Scherzer do this really effectively his entire career. John blowing his nose on Mike, but try to ignore that one.
Got a pretty bad cold going on right now. Fighting through some things.
Yeah. So this is something to keep an eye on because we'll see this next few starts maybe before the playoffs just for him to give him like a 2-inning break on that arm because no velocity is more.
Yeah.
it gives more stress than anything. Any breaking balls, also changeups good in this game. Didn't throw as much as recently, but it was good. Not that many curveballs, but that was the one thing to keep an eye on for Degrom.
Definitely. Degrom still absolutely money. John just deleted the stat I was about to read. I don't know where it went.
There it is.
Oh, he put it back up there. All right, Degrom, 40 straight starts with 3 earned run allowed or less. Longest such streak all time. Major League Baseball history. Jacob
Also,
Degrom.
We should shout out that Framber today, I think, tied Degrom's quality start record.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Framber.
Framber's
awesome.
a good pitcher. He's very, very good.
My buddy who works for the Astros too. He said Framber is a riot.
Yeah, of
Really?
course.
He said he's like he has gusto. He's flamboyant. He wears crazy cool ass clothes. He loves to dance and sing.
I believe it.
Say he's like a big locker room presence.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And oh man, it was nice. It was nice that Jacob Degrom continues to keep pitching so well for us. You know, the runs, it happens.
So it was tied. This was like a completely lopsided game.
For sure.
We had 12 hits and 6 walks. The Pirates had like 4.
Well, as I was saying to you, everybody that I was saying, I was like, this was the most dominantly stressful game I can remember ever.
It was just one of those games you're like, if the Mets find a way to lose this game, it's going to ruin the entire vibe of the series. I think they were the biggest money line favorites any game this year, minus 450.
Can we stop at that? Enough
It's
of
during
giving
DeGrom
them.
starts as I eat a veggie burger.
And Scherzer.
Yeah, when I see minus 450, it makes me nervous.
Oh, horrified. But there's some books I know didn't even list it. Oh my God, there it is.
The bat.
Oh my God,
oh my God, flying
really
from the
close to us.
camera. The bat's the bat's flying.
I'm not happy about this at all.
Oh my God, this is intense.
Oh, someone keep an eye on the bat.
Keep an eye on the bat.
Oh my God.
Mendez, that's on. We're trusting you, Mendez.
Really close.
The bat
ISO-cam.
The bat got so close.
Cam on the bat.
We got to put a GoPro on it.
Tag it.
Yeah, tag it. Put a GoPro on it. That's our friend. We got a name.
Maybe your friend.
He could be our friend.
Yeah, he could be our friend.
Doesn't have to be John's friend.
Well,
John, we're way better at making friends than John. If you guys couldn't tell that.
We'll take request comments on Twitter for what we should name the bat, because I think the bat's
Absolutely.
How about
Anyone tweeted us bad names.
Batty?
John. John is the pun man.
One of Brett Beatty's best friends, Garrett Wilson.
Big day.
Statement game, 2 touchdowns. Youngest player ever to get 15 targets in an NFL game. Beast.
That was the funny thing about today, because when the Pirates tied the game, that's when the Jet comeback started.
Yeah.
And it felt like there were definitely a lot of Jets fans in the crowd, and there might have been a lot of Jets fans working the game. I don't know. A couple. And it just, the attention for what felt like 2-3 innings, and it was just strikeout, was all in the Jet game.
100%.
Jets end, and then the Terrence score stolen base happens, and we're back to Mets baseball.
Well, you know what happened too was during that time, I went from hanging out in the visiting Spanish radio booth, which we've now made our home, and I went to go hang out with some friends in center field. And as soon as I left, O'Neal Cruz hit the home run.
Yeah, less than 10 minutes after. Then the moment Mark came back, Terrence scored. So all was right when we were hanging out in the Spanish radio booth. No, that Jets touchdown though, there was euphoria in the control room. People were really going crazy. I ran in there to smack John around a little bit. That was awesome. It was the best Jets moment in years. It was also
since the Henry Ruggs catch.
My jeez.
I'm not kidding either.
No, you're serious.
My Commanders did not do so well. We got smacked by the Lions, but
the overhit.
The over did hit, which I was quite pleased about.
This was the first time since September 27, 2009, that the Mets, Yankees, Jets, and Giants all won the same day.
Wow,
That's
okay.
awesome.
That's a
And
good
this is
stat.
the first day since October 18th, 2015, that the Mets and Jets won the same day. On that day, you want ready for this one?
I am.
Ryan Fitzpatrick threw touchdowns to Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker.
Wow.
While Noah Syndergaard beat the Cubs in Game 2 of the NLCS.
Hold on, the Jets beat the Texans that day, right?
I don't know. Not in the tweet.
And the Rangers lost to the Devils in overtime.
Yeah,
that
of
day.
course. There it is.
Wow.
John is
Mystic
just
John.
shockingly good at knowing every date in
Johnny
every
the Greek.
sports history. Talk about Terrence Gore real quick for a little bit, because Terrence Gore has a unique role on this team where he just runs. Daniel Vogelbach gets on base. Terrence Gore, you're going in the game.
I think in this specific instance, it was Nito.
Oh, it was Nito?
It
Oh,
was
okay.
Nito.
Came in for Nito here. And he's a menace on the base pass. It's so nice to have a guy who gives us this different kind of look and vibe for this team.
Yeah, and just the fact that he can just get a stolen base, and it's the Pirates. We talked about their lackadaisical defensive performances. Ball
They can't
bounces
throw out.
barely into center field. He's on third base instantly. Now you have a man on third, nobody out, or maybe one out.
There's not
One out and no outs.
there's not a lot of hustle from this Pirates team, if I'm going to be honest.
No outs.
No outs. Mendez and Johnny, no outs. So, I mean, it was very cool that he was basically able to, kind of steal a game. Because after that run came in, it seemed like the Pirates got totally deflated. We just totally ate on their very not-so-good bullpen. And then we just cruised to victory.
I'm going to give you a tweet from Jacob Bresnick. Shout out to Jacob. Good prospect guy. Make sure you guys follow him.
Friend of the show.
Terrence Gore was in the game for 6 pitches and has the second highest win probability added, 169 among position players.
Nice.
Game-changing speed. I'm like getting like baby burps as I was saying that as well.
Take a playoff.
Take a playoff. Yeah, I'm gonna let you handle this.
Win probability, WPA. Find that on Baseball Reference. Good stat. Just shows like what plays in the actual game. You can find it for a season, for a game. We'll have a list for playoff series as well. It's kind of cool to see which small instances in a baseball game have the highest like swings in win probability. And also win probability. Browns are 99% win probability in that game.
Where do you find it for football? I was thinking, but I don't know where to go for that.
ESPN listed.
Do they?
They do. They have a little chart that goes on during the game. It's cool because they show like visual with time. So it was like one of these.
Jets fans win a game over here. That's all they can talk about.
Dude, the Jets haven't won a game in September since 2018. I was so excited.
And in that fashion.
I haven't felt excitement for the Jets in a very long time. Like I literally, because I wanted to be near a Jets fan so bad. The second touchdown happened, I ran to the control room just to be around Jets fans for a moment in time. I knew my friends were watching today at someone's apartment. Shout out Mike and Justin. They were like, I was with them all day yesterday. We were talking about how bad this game was probably going to go today. So it was so great to see the Jets win. Giants 2-0 too.
Absolute scenes.
Absolute scenes,
Bloody
lads.
scenes.
Absolute
shout out Darren. Second
scenes.
shout out for Darren this episode. Love
Hey,
Darren.
listen, Darren's the man.
I know he's listening.
Darren's pushing the UK audience over here.
Yeah, but like,
my apologies.
this was just such a crazy game when you look at it in total. The Mets struck out 20 Pirates and walked none. John, you said that was the most.
Yeah, it was a Mets record for a 9-inning game, and the Mets are also just the 5th team ever with at least 20 strikeouts and no walks issued in a 9-inning game in baseball history. It's wild.
Joely Rodriguez was a big part of it, coming in for 2 nice innings with 5 strikeouts.
Love
got
to
a
see
win. That was awesome.
First win as a Met.
Yes, first win as a Met. Mets also had 12 hits and walked 6 times and also got hit by 1 pitch.
And somehow the game was 3-3
Yeah,
at
so that's
one
19 men on base, and you struck out 20 Pirates. Pirates only had 7 outs in the field of play.
That's
ridiculous.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Some other fun stats. McNeil reached base safely 5 times on Sunday. Second time he's done that in his career. First time since September 23rd of 2018. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a very long time. Gord 3 for 3 in stolen base attempts with the Mets.
Alonso has an RBI.
The bats now flying behind us.
Oh my God, we have bat cam.
I hope you guys can see this on YouTube because that is crazy.
Yeah, there's a live.
We got a really clean look at that bat over here in the light.
So it was a little close for my liking. It was a little close, but also
I thought you liked the bat.
No,
I like
but
the
I
bat.
do.
I'm here.
Listen, I like content, and that bat is premium content.
That's crazy content. We might have to start doing shows in here for the bat. I wonder how many bats you guys think are in here.
That should be the estimate. How many bats
How do we
are
read
in
them
the
out,
Piazza
though?
Club? You have to we were talking about lathering
They
ourselves in
reproduce?
sweet liqueur.
I think they certainly reproduce.
Yeah.
They're mammals.
No doubt, yeah.
They're mammals?
We
We just did it.
See, I was like, well, they're not birds, and James was like, oh, clearly. I was like, well, I
it's
said
close.
they're not.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's so close.
my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's like on us. It senses no.
it senses
my
fear.
God.
It senses fear. Everybody's. Well, actually, I think you should keep moving.
I'm taking a picture, and you guys can tweet.
I think it's the opposite
Oh my
of
God.
bees. It's the opposite of bees where you're supposed to stay still.
It's right
This
on
bat
top of
is
Mendes.
just. Pick a spot. We're trying to do an episode here. Land somewhere. Can we open a window?
No, I don't think so.
I think that's why you get stuck in here.
How did you even get in here
This
in
poor
the first
thing.
place?
This poor thing's gonna starve.
It's gonna die.
Maybe this poor thing just wants to listen to an episode of Mets'd Up.
Listen,
I don't know.
we are, quite.
I don't know how to focus on the rest of this episode.
This is tough. This is tough. All right, let's power through these notes here for this against the
Bat
Pirates.
flying around their head.
Bats and Pirates, is that a thing? No, they have parrots.
Yeah,
Pirates have parrots. Alonso, RBI in 6 straight games. As I have a bat full. The shadows are over my head.
He's not that far from us.
It's so close. Oh my God.
He just flew over
This is sheer chaos.
I can't believe this happened.
We're gonna need a promo of this.
Live podcast. This is what happened.
This is unbelievable.
All right, do we have anything else here?
Alonso, 6 RBI in 6 straight games, first time in his career. Set a record for single season wins at Citi Field. The Mets did 50. Love that.
Yes.
Love
Yeah,
that.
so that was over. That record was set in 2015.
I'm on edge.
You know who I would trust to be able to kill or catch a bat if the situation came?
Who?
John Stearns.
John Stearns.
That
Yes,
dude. But John Stearns passed away. Member of the Met family over the weekend. Great to see him at Old Timers Day.
Absolutely.
Just
Yeah.
before that happened, he got in the box and gave a couple cuts as a 71-year-old.
Immediately, as soon as BP was allowed to be taken,
Grabbed a bat.
John Stearns was the first one in there, taking some healthy cuts. It was really cool to see, and obviously unfortunate, the news that we got. But
That's gone.
John Stearns, Mets legend,
Yes.
4-time All-Star. He had a great Mets career,
Really good
and
run
I feel
with
like
the Mets.
I feel like it doesn't necessarily always get appreciated. But a 4-time All-Star with the team, played 10 years with the Mets. He only played 1 game for a team that wasn't the Mets, and he played 1 game for the Phillies in '74. Otherwise, his entire career was with the Mets.
And a coach on the 2000 team.
Yes,
Nice.
I mean, John Stearns was a Met through and through, one of the greats. Rest in peace.
Yes.
And also, as well, we lost another person in the Met family, Joan Hodges, Gil Hodges' widow.
Pretty incredible that they got to experience Old Timers Day this year.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
it's very sad they've passed, but just amazing they were able to do that.
It's amazing that they get to come back and be with the guys and teammates and family again.
And for Joan Hodges, the Hodges family advocated for decades for Gil's induction to the Hall of Fame, which was long overdue and finally happened this summer. She was around to see the ceremony, and she was the one who received the call from the Hall of Fame informing the family that he was going to be inducted, which, so deserving. So a very sad weekend in a lot of ways in the Mets family, but good on you guys for definitely bringing that up.
I'm watching Mendez over here. His head's on a swivel right now. The
guys, all of our heads. I'm really scared about this barbecue sauce that John has on the couch open. That seems like bat. That seems like something a bat would enjoy.
That's like barbecue sauce?
I'm sure they
put it right here. Put it right on the table.
It's better whenever else they're eating it here.
A barbecue sauce.
Popcorn over there. Is the popcorn still over there?
Oh, that's probably what he's coming for.
That's probably.
But they like bugs. There's not a lot of similarities between popcorn and bugs. Less
They're
protein.
Small.
Kind of crunchy.
Not that small.
Probably a little crunchy.
It depends. Mosquitoes definitely not crunchy though.
No, mosquitoes are.
That is really on a swivel.
Listen, this
feels like an episode of The Office.
This is content right now. There is a bat on the studio set.
Francisco Alvarez just went deep. 50th home run, 204 games since the beginning of 2021.
Mark Vientos got his first hit and
RBI
he did.
as
a New York Met, which was awesome.
Feels like a year ago.
Yeah, which was awesome. Get him off the schneid a little bit here, so love to see that.
Mets' first 4-game sweep since September 2019 against Arizona, which had a very similar vibe.
Yes, very similar.
Just a bad team coming to town, just crushing them.
And hey, Mets gained half a game on the Braves in the standings. We are now 1 game up on the Braves. The Phillies couldn't help us out at all.
Phillies have 2 games. Braves have 2 games in hand, though.
Okay, yeah. Phillies couldn't help us out in the slightest, which is just frustrating. Frustrating, to say the least. But hey, listen, Mets just keep winning. We don't got to worry about what's going on in Atlanta. Just keep playing good baseball, keep winning.
The Mets win every game the rest of the year, they will win the division.
That is a fact.
Control your own destiny.
That is a fact. Control your own destiny. And I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, all right. Got a little estimate recap, John?
Yeah, John, I think your boy brought it home this episode, right?
I think he did.
Yeah, so what's funny is, I'm dealing with this cold here. Mark and James last night are going back and forth on our text chain at like 12:45 a.m. arguing about Lindor songs. Like, I never silenced my notifications, and last night I silenced my notifications. So these guys really care and really don't want to be the loser of this.
No.
But yeah, it was 15 different songs. So here's the breakdown. Okay. Francisco Lindor used 1 different song for each of his plate appearances for the first 3 games of the series.
Unreal.
It was 14. Today, all the players used songs by Latin artists, and they used the same song for each plate appearance. So Lindor used 15 different songs during the series. I have a list here. In no particular order, I Feel Good by James Brown. It's Tricky, by the way, shout out DJ Razor, who did a great job on Friday. If you weren't in the park for it, you missed out. Razor killed it. Can't wait for the next time. Suavemente, next by Drake. Bomb Bomb, great song.
Banger.
Pepas, El Taxi.
Banger.
The song he hit the home run on was, which song was it? Tonight's the Night by Redman.
Okay.
That was the song.
That's a banger.
That was the song he hit the home run with.
Song.
So anyway, 15 different songs used. Congrats to Mark, who once again brings it to within 1 game, if you would. The score is now 9-8.
Pesky.
Very pesky, not going away, just like the NL East race. This is my scorecard from today. I'm going to have to rip it up because I forgot to bring paper in here.
We didn't remember either.
We had a late audible to record in here.
Not knowing there was a bat.
The bat happened, and so...
That should be also the punishment. The person also has to sleep
in
here
with back.
Where is it?
Right here.
Oh, it's flying low. It's low. We might get I don't know if I can say it, but we might come by us.
So, Mark, James, here you go. Paper.
Scorecard.
You guys, I have 1 pencil again.
We'll have to share a pencil.
Yeah,
okay. Mendez, do you have one?
Mendez.
Let's see if Mendez has a writing utensil here. But anyway, so the Mets going to Milwaukee now for a 3-game series. Mind you, we haven't mentioned this yet. The magic number is down to 2?
1 for a postseason berth.
Yeah, 1 for a postseason berth. Anyway, since the Mets are playing the Brewers head-to-head, the Mets win. They're in. First time in the postseason since 2016. Should be a good week in Milwaukee. You got Max Scherzer coming off the injured list, facing off with Corbin Burns tomorrow night. So a couple former Cy Young winners. Great pitching matchup. But we've talked a lot about Daniel Vogelbach's big series.
Burns is actually on the schedule for Tuesday.
Really?
Oh.
On ESPN.
That's on ESPN.
Yeah, ESPN's
on Mets.com, they have Burns
okay.
on Monday. TBD is Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it is Burns, do you prefer that you use that bullet in Scherzer against their ace, or do you prefer you don't?
I just want Max Scherzer to pitch as soon as possible so he can pitch again as soon as possible.
No, I'm with you.
And so the bonus episode goes out.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Tuesday.
Big
Most
news for you guys.
importantly.
It's actually coming out Tuesday.
Great interview
Scherzer's
with Max
pitching on
Scherzer.
Monday.
He's
It's sick.
He's incredible.
But anyway, so we talked about Vogelbach's big series. We talked about Eduardo Escobar's big series. Both of them used to call Milwaukee home.
Last year, same time,
For
right?
a very brief period of time.
Yes, Eduardo Escobar was a midseason acquisition.
Mercenaries.
Vogelbach was there in 20. Was he there last year as well? I know he was with Seattle 2019. He had
I think
to
he
break
was there
year.
for most of last year.
Vogelbach was in there in 2021 and 2020. So 19 games in 2020, 93 in 21.
Yeah, he was traded to the Blue Jays, I believe, in 2020. He didn't have a great start.
Oh, I thought that was
Yeah.
the bat. Oh my God, it was
Why
a
would you do
fly.
that?
That's why I had just killed his food. He's gonna come right over
Oh,
here.
you should not have done that. Where
That
is
was a
it? Where'd you
mistake.
find it? Throw it away somewhere.
I don't know.
Take the fly.
I
Get
have
the fly
no
out
clue
of
where
here.
it went.
Oh, my.
All right, so
barbecue sauce.
we interrupted John again because of this bat. But
No,
John,
I mean, the bat honestly is the
bat
most
takes
important.
the bat takes
if the bat's
precedence.
close, I want to know. You guys can interrupt at any point in time. We need to know where the bat is. So I'll try to get this in as quickly as possible.
This is not. It's just a long
Eduardo
episode,
Escobar,
too.
Daniel Vogelbach, both going home. Not at Miller Park anymore. American Trust Life, whatever it's called.
American
Bad
Family
name.
Insurance.
Yeah, bad name. Terrible name. Anyway, how many total bases will Eduardo Escobar and Daniel Vogelbach combine for in this 3-game series at Milwaukee? That is the estimate for this episode.
okay. Insert Jeopardy music. Let's think about this.
With a TBD, that's kind of interesting because that could be a righty or a lefty.
Yeah. Don't look at my scorecard. Don't look at
not
my
looking.
don't look
I'm
at my handwritten math over here.
If you do four times 4 again, I'm gonna laugh.
Listen, you just sometimes you
Worked last time.
Yeah,
Did work
yeah.
last time.
Laugh all the way to the bank.
See, the unfortunate thing about the last estimate is I did not know that Lindor uses a different song every single time he's up, so it pretty much became a contest of how many plate appearances he's going to take in the series.
I thought there was gonna be at least 1 or 2 games where he found a way, it got hot and like stuck. And it was only if it was 2 instead of 1, I would have had it, but it was only 1. That was my bet.
I am trying to make it happen where he comes up to the It's Corn song.
It's corn. I
I don't know how it would go over.
It's a bop.
I feel like it is a bop. I don't know. I don't know if it's a walk-up bop, though. I think the fans would like it.
Oh, I already have my number. I love It's Corn.
I haven't even written it down.
Also, we shout out to James McCann. Shout out to Big Hit Jim. He is the Roberto Clemente nominee for the Mets.
Nice.
And on Roberto Clemente night, obviously gets honored. Carlos Carrasco, also former Roberto Clemente Award winner.
Yes.
So
And don't forget to shout out Declan. I hope I'm not butchering your name. Who you guys referred to on the last episode,
Yes,
the young man.
Declan.
Yes, Declan, who was on his mom's account. You guys
Yes.
explained Declan.
Yeah, we got Declan.
Declan, you the man. We appreciate you. Also, I didn't shout out on the last episode. Oh, man, I forgot your name now. I'm pulling a James. But Spirit Bear. The Spirit Bear.
The Spirit Bear.
I
Oh
completely
my God,
forgot
that
to
was a
talk
crazy
about
story.
it.
Ooh,
There's this guy. I wish I had your name, but it's like a week ago now because I'm bad at this. But you took a picture of a polar bear, and you were hanging out with, I believe, in Canada or Alaska. I don't know. I don't know my geography well. James, maybe you could help me here. But you took a picture of a polar bear. You said you showed it to Inuits, and they saw a face of a wolf in the polar bear. And they called
story.
they named
Really?
it the
Yeah.
Spirit Bear. This guy took that picture, gave it to Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso apparently hangs it up in his house, in his living room. It's a big part of, Pete Alonso's whole identity and
his
brand
lore.
is the polar bear. And we saw him because he was shadowing a photographer for the Mets, I believe. Long story short, Pete Alonso signed the picture of the Spirit Bear, and this guy now has that. And I think it's really cool. It's a great picture, by the way. So you
Very
probably
cool.
know what you're doing with the camera.
And I have one more shout out. Shout out Mrs. Shiano, who
Whoa.
I met right before the recording started.
No shout-outs for Mrs.
So I met
Luino.
both your parents this week. Mark, I still haven't met your mom.
You did me, Mike.
Oh, I did meet your mom. I didn't
Wow.
shout her out. I didn't shout her out. I know, I didn't shout her out. That's what I meant.
Right there.
That's what I meant.
John's in trouble.
That's what I meant. I didn't
John's in
shout her out.
trouble.
But
Yaya's
I want
gonna
to
do
shout out Mrs.
something.
Shiano. She invited me for New Year's Eve for lentils. So I guess I have New Year's Eve plans, which is cool.
That's
Yeah,
big,
you're not invited to the Luino house. Keep
No,
forgetting my
not
mom
after
like
that.
that.
I actually
Jeez.
spoke about the penny bread to some people. I think it was on Friday night, Friday or Saturday. I mentioned the penny bread. So,
Oh, yeah.
Really? Very
yeah.
cool. It's a penny. That's like the
I
least
think it's like
sanitary
a,
coin.
I think it's a quarter. I think it's a
I think it's a
quarter.
penny.
Well, for me, I think it's a quarter.
Oh.
But I think it's any coin, I believe, because I mean,
They're
let's
all
be
the-
honest. This came from Greece. They don't have quarters over there.
No, yeah.
So I think it's whatever
All right.
just is available.
All right, spin the estimate.
Yeah, let's do it.
And
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, 8.
10.
Ooh,
There
we
we
got a
go.
close one here. I don't like that you're higher than me. I love when you go lower.
Total bases,
Total
Yeah.
bases.
Yeah,
1 home run.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much half of yours.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Eight.
Mark's
Eight.
down on the Mets right now. I'm high on the Mets.
No, I'm
so
just,
you can
I'm
take
just,
it from that.
I'm just predicting.
So 9's a push too. 9's a
Nine's
push.
a push. Nine's a push, which is unfortunate. I don't like that. I don't like that we could have a tie. What's the tiebreaker?
Walks.
Walks. It's too much now. It's too much now. All right.
Yeah.
You know what? If it's 9, we'll flip a coin.
No, I think we have to accept the push and move on.
Okay, fine.
I think a coin flip's fun.
I like the coin.
How about a push-up competition?
Yes, I'm down.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I'm in.
Settled.
I'm in.
It's 9 to push-up competition. I've got
Perfect.
There's a will, there's a way.
I don't know about that. All right. Oh, no, I'm great at push-ups. That's the only exercise I do besides biking and running.
All right,
That's
sounds like we got ourselves a
I thought you were
contest.
just
I'm rooting for
bike
9.
and running guy.
No, also a lot of push-ups.
That's
But
unfortunate.
got pitching matchups this series. Said before, Max Scherzer versus Corbin Burns on Monday. I say it as a joke a lot of times. It's a true ace-off.
Yeah.
2 of the best 5 pitchers nationally. That'll be really cool to see. Burns hasn't been great lately, but he has been quite good. Also, I talked about how disappointing the Brewers were last episode. Had a good weekend series against the Yankees.
2 of 3.
So they're ready to go. They're like only a game out of playoff spot now, I believe, after the Phillies were unceremoniously swept by the Atlanta Braves because they can't do anything for us, of course.
Thanks, Philly, for nothing.
Yep. Tuesday, Fangraphs telling me that the Brewers are going to bring Josh Lindblom back to be on the mound.
He's a lefty.
No, he's a righty.
Josh Lindblom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was a lefty.
No, he's a righty.
He feels like he should be lefty.
He appears as a lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah. He acts like a
Lindblom.
lefty.
KBO guy, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah. He got really good there. He came back. He did nothing. I thought he was going to be great. I had him in every fantasy baseball league last year.
That's about right.
He was great against KBO. But against Carlos Carrasco, and then Wednesday, daytime matinee, Taiwan Walker versus Adrian Hauser.
Okay. I like it. I mean,
No reason we can't dominate the series.
not Miller Park, American Family Home Insurance, whatever
Miller
it is.
Park to me.
It's like a sneaky good hitters park,
Yeah, it's
right?
definitely hitters park.
Especially for left-handed hitters, I believe.
Good for Vogie.
Yeah, good for Vogie.
And good for Escobar against all the
and
righties.
Good for Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil and Tyler Naquin.
Good for the whole squad.
Tyler Naquin's due for that Mets'd up bump as well. Definitely.
Nick got a couple hits this series.
Yeah, listen, no one's hotter than Tomas Nido right
Tyler
now.
Naquin.
Yeah, Nakan,
Nakan.
I believe was what he went by.
Nakan.
Anything else here to wrap up this episode for us?
I really just gotta get out of here before this bat comes back.
Yeah, I know. We're really testing fate because this bat is hungry. I believe.
It was really nice to see the Mets crush a bad team after all of the bad juju from last week. Great
Definitely.
to see all of you guys come back to us with the things you did to break the luck, all the positive energy. A bunch of you guys did good deeds. That makes us feel cool. Also, one of our best rated episodes ever.
Definitely.
Which is really cool to see that we did something different and the Mets did not play very well. And you guys still came back to listen, which we appreciate a lot. That's all I got, though.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way for us to end it here, guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Remember to follow us on all our social media, at Mets'd on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. If you're looking for the YouTube video, go over to the New York Mets YouTube channel. Go subscribe over there and go watch it. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, wherever you get your podcasts, drop us a rating, a review, download, and subscribe. We really do appreciate it. Follow James on Twitter
at James_Shiano. Also, follow my full-time job at Mojo, launching today on Monday. If you give a rating and a review in the iTunes store and you mention Mets'd Up, I'll read it on the show.
There you go. I like that.
Little cross promotion.
Little sneaky plug there. And shout out to me as well, at Giraffe Neck Mark with the C. Thank you guys for listening and watching. And we'll catch you on the next episode.
Peace out. See you next time.
Get up, get up, get up.